Hello everyone and welcome to another video. It's been a decent hold on. It's been a it's been a, it's been a decent amount of time since we've made a recording. Now, my microphone may sound a little bit different. I'm actually on a different computer right now. Which I will explain later, but our goal in this recording is to kind of go over the new computers we've gotten, because Crayton has gotten a new desktop, and I got a brand new to me, but not brand new in the world, laptop. This is an older system. It's a lower end education system that someone gave me, and I will go into what it is and what it has to offer after Crayton does his computer.
Okay. So I actually had this system before, but unfortunately there were some things broken about it that I didn't care for. So I was trying to look for a nicer one. And by the way, both of these systems are refurbished. If any of you
mine
are
is
curious.
too.
So they're not
Mine's
new, but you
refurbished
can
and
still
his is.
find them. Very reasonably priced.
Yeah.
So
I
got me a Dell Optiplex 9020 mini tower. It's a small desktop tower, or you can put it. You can either put it vertical or horizontal. I have it looking like a computer tower right now, or you can lay it down. So, what specs does this have? This has a processor of an Intel quad-core i7 4770,
His is a little bit better than Black Shell,
which is a Haswell
mine.
at 3.4 gigahertz.
Wow.
8 gigs of RAM, and it's got a 128 gig Samsung SSD for boot files and programs. And then it has a second 3 terabyte drive, which is used for storing documents,
files,
downloads, audio recordings, things of that nature.
Yeah.
And this system, oh my, I'm not even going to go over the ports on this. There are so many. But one of the things I did to it when I got it was I have a wireless adapter that fits into the back. It's a nice 5 gigahertz one.
And it's a USB one?
And it's got USB.
Is it a USB wireless card?
Yep. And it has an
Nice.
antenna that sticks out of it, so that way we can get the best signal.
Probably a few of them antennas.
And
Yeah.
it works really good.
I don't have one of those.
It's got, I put a display to HDMI adapter on here, and if I were to right now go into control panel, where's it at? Devices and printers, and go and hit F, Fit Headless shows up. So that means it recognizes the Fit Headless, which is really cool. It recognizes it as a monitor, which the Fit Headless is HDMI. This thing is, well, obviously very quick. It runs stuff really nice. Goldwave runs really good. I got Total Recorder installed. I've
I hope
got
so with that nice processor of yours.
Google Chrome installed. All the Windows basic stuff. And now, when I did get it, I did have to reinstall Windows, because I had an issue of where every time I plug in a keyboard, it would reboot when it got into Windows and it'd crash. So I reinstalled. And but other than that, that's the only thing I've had to do. Oh yeah, and I have an SD card reader in the back that has micro and regular SD card support.
I should get one of those.
And
I don't have a micro SD.
I'm trying to think. This actually has PS2 ports.
Ooh.
And now remember, guys, this is a business class computer. Remember.
Mine's an education class, but it's a laptop, so. Yeah. Anything else for yours, Crayton?
Not really. I mean, you can find these relatively cheap. I got this on Amazon for about $346.
That's US dollars, folks. So if you're in another part of the world or whatever be it, it's going to be a decent bit more cheaper or maybe a little more expensive. So just depends on conversion rates, which we're not going to get into in this recording because, well, fuck math.
Yeah, well, we're not doing math, okay?
Yeah, no, we're not mathematicians here. We don't need to do math in our videos. Anyway, I'm gonna go over.
I'm gonna let Gabriel talk about his ThinkPad, because that thing's actually kind of nice.
It's not the best computer in the world, and I have upgrades planned to it from hearing that it's pretty easy to upgrade the internals and everything in these computers.
Yeah, those ThinkPads are real easy.
This is a Lenovo ThinkPad 11E 20 EDS something. Let me check actually here. Let me bring up my... I'm actually using JAWS on this because it runs a lot better than NVDA.
Oh yeah, maybe we should talk about the screen readers. We have both JAWS and NVDA installed.
Yeah, and some people may not agree with us on this, but I've noticed using it a lot lately that it works a lot better on lower end computers.
It does. Yeah.
So this is a 20 EDS00100 or something like that. Let me see. Okay, so it's a... If I can fucking read this. Yeah, it's a 20 EDS00100. So it's a education geared computer. The processor is a AMD A4. Let me go back into my JAWS cursor here. Okay, it's an AMD A4 6210 APU with
an APU is a CPU and video graphics combined into one. By the way,
and they with Radeon R3 graphics, 1800. 1800 megahertz, 4 cores, and yeah, things like that. And
4 cores is
4
basically is a quad.
It's a quad core A4 6210 APU, which goes up to which is I believe 1800 megahertz. I believe. Let me make sure. But this computer, yep, it's an 1800 megahertz, which is not bad. It's not the most powerful computer right now. My most powerful computer is my Macbook Air with its
1.6 i5, because I've got the same one.
6 i5. 1.6 gigahertz Intel Core i5 with 8 gigs of RAM. This has a, I believe it's a, this ThinkPad has a 300 gig. I'm assuming it's going to be a 5400 RPM drive,
yeah,
but at some point I want to make updates.
7200 RPM drive.
Yeah, and you know what? I might as well talk about the upgrades. Let me make sure I'm still recording here. I kind of want to go over some of the upgrades I want to make to this computer at some point, and then we will go into a physical description of the computer. I kind of want to upgrade the RAM to... If this can support 8, I'll get an additional 4. If this can get 6, that'll be fine. And then I want to upgrade the hard drive in this thing to at least a 512 gig SSD, although those are not cheap. But since this is using SATA and not NVMe, it should be decently cheap, because I know NVMe drives, judging on the speed and everything, those are going to be pretty damn expensive.
NVMe drives are a lot more expensive right now. Trust me, they'll be like SATA and come down in price. SATA drives, which is what this Dell takes, are much cheaper.
Mm-hmm. And I'm planning to get at least, I don't know if I can fit a second moving hard drive in this, but at least a 512 gig SSD should be good.
Hang on.
Considering, though, this is a 12.5-inch computer, I don't know if you can put a second hard drive in here.
I know some of the ThinkPads you can take... Now, that don't have a DVD or CD drive in it, does it?
No. It's that small.
Okay, well, no, you can't put a second drive in it then, because I was going to say, if it had a CD, DVD, RW drive, there's a place that sells drive bays, and all you have to do is take off one of the bezels of the CD or of the disk drive, and then you insert it into that drive bay, so that way it won't look ugly.
Mm-hmm. And that's pretty cool. Obviously, I can't do that. So, physical description time. This is a 12.5-inch computer for education, like I said, so it's going to be pretty rugged to be able to take the abuse of students using them. Obviously, it seems like schools don't... at least where I am, schools don't use this computer. They like to use Chromebooks for some stupid reason, which I don't call Chromebooks a real computer. A real computer would be, something running the leading OSs like Linux, even though, whatever, Linux, Mac OS, or Windows. That's my opinion of a real computer. A Chromebook, to me, is basically a Google Chrome on
It's literally all it is, guys, is Chrome browser, but yet it's an OS. That's all it really is. And
he was saying that's all it is, but he broke.
Oh,
and
it's basically okay. It's basically just a browser, as an OS
on a laptop form factor. Yeah.
Yes.
And this computer is rugged, a lot more rugged than those fucking Chromebooks, that's for sure. Yes. I think they can take a lot more of a beating, and I found that the keys are really hard to tear off. Like with Chromebooks, it's so easy to pry the keys off of like a Chromebook. This one I'd actually have to try.
Yes.
And I think that's why they specifically did that, is so kids don't... Because I can tell you the amount of Chromebooks I've picked up with missing keys.
Yeah, and I've seen that before.
And it's bad.
It is.
So
bad.
now for that physical description that I've been putting off for some reason. On the body, obviously on the screen, there's nothing, and it has a rubber bezel, and it's a pretty thick fucking bezel. But that's good for its ruggedness and being able to withstand the abuse that students would be putting on this laptop. And if I was in college, I'd prefer something a little more high power. But for junior high, elementary, and high school kids, this could be a good laptop.
Yep.
If they're not desiring to be a power Nazi like I am, and I like having the power. But my goal for my starting high school year was to take a cheaper laptop to school, so I can't exactly get a cheap high-spec computer.
Correct.
And I would have taken my Mac to school, but I've heard stories of people getting their phones stolen from them by others, and I just don't want to go through that. My stuff is way too expensive for that shit. So, there's nothing on the screen besides, at the top, obviously, obvious stuff, the sensors and camera and microphone. On the left side, there is your traditional ThinkPad rectangular AC adapter. That plugs into the computer. Then there's a gigabit Ethernet, USB 2.0, I believe, a combo headphone microphone jack, a SD card slot, and this is a full SD card slot, no micro here, unless you had an adapter. On the right, there's your Kensington lock, HDMI, and I believe they have a USB 3.0 port on under that. Then you have a volume rocker, starting with going towards you. Again, there's that lock, HDMI, USB 3.0. When you get to the rockers, it's going to be volume down, then volume up. Then there's your power button. There's nothing on the front. Trackpad is nice and big. It's not that big, but it's big enough. This computer, I know some computers, some ThinkPads that my school uses still have a track point. This one does not. And
the good old track point.
This computer is not a bad computer. We have your Lenovo logos and things like that. But this is not a bad computer. Now, the keyboards in these, as you can hear, they're not half bad. I'd prefer my MacBook Air keyboard hands down, but this is not a bad keyboard. Let's boot JAWS back up here. And there it is. So yeah, that is my ThinkPad now. I do have other computers. If you guys want to find out what kind of computers me and Crayton have, we can certainly do that in another video. We could do it today, but we weren't really planning that, so we're just going to upload this
We're just going to do this one. And I'm going to upload it to my YouTube anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to upload it to mine, or ours.
Yes.
I'm not going to upload this to my main channel, but this is going to go on mine and Crayton's Gabstick How 212 channel. Also, we're going to need to figure out a new name for it.
Yeah, which we haven't come up with because we haven't talked about it yet.
And we're both busy.
Yes.
He has work, I have school.
Yes.
Things like that, so...
And, so, we're, but we're very happy with our computers. Gabriel got his ThinkPad a little bit before I did, or got my Dell. My computer came last Thursday. His ThinkPad came yesterday, it'll be a week from yesterday.
Yeah, he got his 2 days later than mine. So this is not a bad computer. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it's not also the slowest compared to one of the other computers I have, which I'm not going to mention in case we decide to have a look at what computers we have. This is certainly not my lowest spec. So, in perspective here, we have that low-end computer as slowest, and we're going to go from slowest to fastest here. Then
Correct.
We have my ThinkPad, then my HP, then my MacBook Air. So right now, my MacBook Air is
okay.
my most powerful
Well,
computer that
since
I have.
Gabriel's talking about computers, now I'm not going to talk about the specs, but from lowest speed to highest speed, we've got the MacBook Air, which is over on my bed, which I haven't put in its case yet. Need to. Because it's not being used right now. I've been using this Dell a lot. Although, I haven't gone anywhere either that I haven't needed it at work either.
Uh-huh.
But we got the MacBook Air, And then the next one will be the Mac Mini over here. And then we've got the Dell Optiplex, which is the highest.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, my computers, I mean, they're not the most powerful.
So I've got
in the world, but
three computers, and they all get used.
I got 4. I had 5, but I brought that one desktop upstairs because I don't need it anymore. And that was the iMac. I finally brought that upstairs, so I finally have space cleared in my room for another computer if I so desired. But I don't think I'm planning on getting a good computer quite yet because my Mac is still cutting it for what I'm doing. Anyway, that is going to be it for this recording. Here.
I really don't have much else to talk to you about, and I know it seems depressing, but I mean, we could do well. That was awesome right there. Anyway, I should take that into Amadeus or Goldwaven.
Oh no! Oh no!
Anyway,
good fun.
But anyway, we could do a thing of the startup of our computers, but what's the point? I mean, our computers start up relatively quick, so there's no point.
Yeah, the HP and the ThinkPad start up at almost the same speed.
Yeah, the Mac Mini and this one, since they're both running off of SSDs, they start up quick. They do.
Isn't your Air on an SSD?
Yep, it's on an SSD as well, and it starts fairly quick.
Yeah.
So, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that.
If you want to do that, then get, figure it out yourself. I mean, oops.
Yeah.
And besides, there's really no good way, especially if you have multiple computers, to compare their boot speed, because you can't exactly, unlike an iPhone, if you're doing boot tests on iPhones, you could just plug it into a power strip, turn the power strip on, and they'll all turn on automatically. But with these computers, they don't do that, so when you press the power button, it'll be different times. So you can't get a fair test. Anyway, that's going to be it. If you guys like the video, like, comment, subscribe. You guys should know that. Ring the bell to receive notifications on our next upload, because you guys definitely don't want to miss anything.
Yes.
That we put up in the future.
Because, let's see, I don't know what the next video is going to be on probably an iPad unboxing, because Apple, for those of you who don't know, came out with a 7th gen iPad, and I plan on, I'm going to grab it, because I've got a nice gift card.
And it still has Touch ID and everything, right?
Yeah, it does. And they haven't gotten that far with the
entry-level
iPad. Now, I know I talked about a Pro, but I really don't need one right now. Really don't need one. Not that I wouldn't take one, but really don't need one right now.
And plus, I heard, like, if you're going to be traveling with it and you're putting it in book bags full of shit, I've heard they've bent before, so...
Well, I just wonder how much crap people put in their iPad Pros. I mean, just saying. I just wonder how much stuff people really put with their iPad Pros.
But anyway, if I can get back to Total Recorder here, and I hope I didn't lose any of this. Perfect. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video again, like I said, and we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.